back, who are 2-0 down. 61 minutes played, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, they make the changes very quickly down there, and that's what they're trying to do with FIFA in this World Cup, that you're not waiting for ages and people are walking off. It's lightning quick, and the game almost doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And if the way we are just now, it's impossible to see just over the tops of the heads of the journalists in front of us, so they can make those changes, and of course you've no idea they've happened until they come up on the big screen.
Yeah, they've got 10 seconds to leave the field of play. It was one of the crackdown on time wasting as one of the new laws introduced for this World Cup in North America, Canada and Mexico. France are leading by 2-0. I can only imagine that Jules is a little happier now, because he was stood up before. I was worried for you, but you're looking a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah, a little bit. Although I still think this team could do so much more and so much better, but at least, like you and Pat have just said, there's a bit more of that urgency, there's a bit more of those combinations, there's a bit more of running behind, like on that ball from Olise to Mbappe just a bit earlier, which we didn't see at all in the first half, for example. So it is a bit better, but there's still some sloppy passes, like just now for Koundé. It's an easy ball, and I know the conditions are not perfect, obviously, especially on that right-hand side with the where the pitch is a bit waterlogged, but I still expect so much more. But in a way, they will go from strength to strength again, and it's probably not a bad thing not to peak too early either.
Julien Laurent of ESPN, who's with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. France lead by 2-0. And we've been playing for 62.5 minutes. And this is Iraq with Hussein Ali, the right back. Just leaves it in the midfield for Zidane Iqbal. And now taking over is Amir Alamari. But they're just happy to keep the ball in that middle area of the field. And in fact, Pat, as well, it was a temporary switch. Dembele's gone back outright.
Yeah, another thing is the jeopardy that was there has been taken away. You know, 1-0, it's always there. There was a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of fear that you could feel from some of the French fans, particularly one sitting nearby. But that's kind of gone now. There's a real comfort,
yes,
real confidence about the French team now. Yeah, we'll play it, we'll relax, we're cool.
Ball hit over the top, looking to try and get Iqbal away. Interception from Upamecano, the layoff by Kone. And then Rabiot actually had to do well as he splashed his way through the puddles on the far side, because Iraq decided to press, but they've kept the ball despite all of that, of France, who lead by 2-0. 2 goals from Kylian Mbappe. We've already had Lionel Messi with a World Cup record. We could be having another one here tonight, because for Didier Deschamps, the outgoing manager of France, this will be his 16th win at a World Cup, and it will equal the record of that of Helmut Schön, whose ultimate record he wants to beat of managing the most games for one nation in the history of the World Cup, because this is his 21st game, and Helmut Schön had 25 matches in charge of West Germany. That's for another day. France, though, are well on course for the 3 points that will see them qualify from the group stages. They beat Senegal 3-1, and they're looking at back-to-back wins for opening games of what will be a 4th successive World Cup, where previously it happened only once in the 13 earlier editions. Pat Nevin.
See the tricky bit you've got. Deschamps got some decisions to make quite soon. Just over an hour. I'll finish that in a moment.
This is Dembele coming in with a shot on the run, takes a deflection behind for a corner kick. France lead 2-0, 65 minutes played, 5 live.
Yeah, a couple of difficult decisions to make. Look, he's going to have to rest players at some point here. It's a long old tournament. You don't want to take chances with injuries. We've had a massive break at half-time. Some muscles might not be quite right when you come back on. He would hate if one of his big players get injured between now and the end of this game.
Ball comes in from Dean, glancing header is off target by Saliba. Took a deflection on its way through, another corner kick to France.
And very quickly, the other point I would make is, but how brave is he? Will he take off Mbappe when he's not had his hat-trick?
Well, that's the other thing about, hold on, here is Dembele, that's a sharp turn. Dembele! Hits the side netting, right-footed. Some of the supporters in front of us thought it had gone in, but it's a goal kick, still 2-0. The change of criteria before, France would have been able to rotate players. However, the fact now that they are playing Norway, surmising that Norway do indeed beat Senegal, means that he might not be able to take such a decision, and he might have to go as strong as he possibly can.